Let's begin. Hey there, Silver Tongue Devil here. Cycle 7 on the bow. Let's go! Like those temps back, Von? Whatever do you mean? So. Oh, look, it's the one that caused us so much problems last time. So that's a guy that I want to get rid of straight away. First tip of the day, always remember what you used last on Anakin. It will be the first arrow that you notch. Oh, I get you now, Von. So yeah, always pay attention to what the last arrow that you used at the end of Anakin was. It will still be selected if you didn't run out. So that was good job we checked. So we want to take this guy out right on the outside first. Oh, is it going to be that kind of evening, is it? Uh-oh. Maybe it is going to be that kind of evening. Oh, these are all sorts of low. Oh! Good job I haven't got my squats in today. So, this one is quite a difficult building, especially if you go in from the bottom. So we're not going to play by those rules. Just got to remember I've got slow time. We're going to go in here. We're going to secure our landing. And that'll do us. So from here, we can now start fighting out. Must remember, have slow time. Sounds like I might have alerted a knight. Yes, it did. We'll corner him. And this is something that I've spoken about in previous streams. Developing your IDU glance. And you'll see me do it quite a lot. And it's part of the reason why I'll try and put my back to a wall or near some sort of cover. So I know I don't have too much to glance at. But the IDU glance is something like that. The more you do it and the more you can train yourself to do it, whilst making use of your slow time, the better. The less chance you will be surprised. For those of you that are here, just a quick note, I will not be streaming on Saturday, unfortunately. I do think if I cut down the handle. Yeah, I've got work on Saturday, which means that we won't be doing any live streaming on Saturday, although I do have some videos lined up. I'm glad they don't fire sideways anymore. That used to be really annoying. Oh, that's above us. It should be up there. Now, you'll see at cycle 7, which is where we're at, enemies are starting to take a lot more in the headshot realms. Thankfully, Cupids at this stage are still a one-shot, which is good. Okay. So again, I think we did this last time, to be honest with you. At cycle 6, we're going to secure what we can here on this floor. I want to take out those two first. I'd always start with the Cupid because they're an absolute nightmare. Don't worry too much about headshots there. And if we can get cheeky little shots on ones like that down there, all well and good, but you'll hear that's brought some up to us. more than one, which we don't like. So we don't want to be in line of sight of this guy. I've literally taken a step in my play space to get out of his line of sight. And what does that cause him to do? Teleport to a new location located within my gaze. It's definitely a massive skill. No. It's definitely a massive exploit to take advantage of in this game. I thought he was on a blocked off bit then. So now that we've secured a bit of this top bit, we'll take that knight. I don't think we'll have too much problem dealing with him. And that's decent headshot range. If we can get it. Oh, decent-ish. This won't let me get on with it, will you? Thought that was an arrow then, that's a staff. Right, I think we've attracted the attention of a cupid down the bottom. So I'm going to try and deal with him. And first. Now, one of the things I have started noticing, and I think it's definitely a higher cycle thing, and it seems to be extenuated on higher cycles, is I don't know, but I think cupids stop following this rule. Nope, no name on that one. I think cupids at higher cycles stop following the rule, or it may be down to confined spaces. Seems to happen a lot indoors, is that they will teleport in and behind you. Sometimes it's due to the fact that you've looked there, and or it's within your field of view, and they've already selected that as like a valid teleport location. Other times, I don't know. Other times it feels a little bit more random. So we've got this secured. We're now going to work the outside now that we don't have to worry about being shot at anything in and around that area. Take a look down, we'll take a look up. But we are going to have to double check this, because we know things like to respawn. And we'll deal with anything that teleports up first, before we get our attention dragged away to things on the sides. So we'll have... Wait for him to fire his shot. Wait for the clatter. Then we'll have him. Oh, that was a headshot. Surely. And I'm using my slow motion button as I'm investigating. Oh, that was over his shoulder really, wasn't it? I'm using my slow motion button as I'm investigating. I'm not sticking my head out in real time. No way would I do that. Unless I was trying to be fast. Those downward shots on cupids are actually not easy headshots, but easier, because I don't know if you've noticed or not, but when you are above a cupid, they kind of lean back to shoot at you, which is awesome. It exposes more head, and there's less of that fat little body to shoot. So let's investigate the area here. Now, it doesn't look like there's anything down here, and this is something that Beanie pointed out the other week, I think, when he was doing his stream. The reason why we can't see anything down there is there's still loads of enemies that are actually spawned in the game above us, which is why as we've moved around, enemies have started appearing. I would imagine players do jump down there thinking, oh, that looks rather safe and inviting, I'll just go and have a look, see if there's one or two enemies, and then land on a dance floor absolutely full. And we don't want that. And the way we're going to get around that is we're going to inch our way down. And we're going to do that by hitting up those sides that we've cleared. But if the enemies are going to oblige us, this is actually something that we can take advantage of. Bloody shoulders. This is something that we can take advantage of. What I'm hoping is that if I kill that guy, if I kill this guy, what may happen is another one may spawn. Now, there's probably there could be anywhere between about 5 and 8 enemies down there. But they've all despawned because of what's above us. So there's two ways that we can check it out. We can either go in through that front door there, which I think is a bad idea, We are going to come back up and around this way later, but let's get this dealt with first. Our best shout would probably be this backhand corner, and we'll tuck in there nice just in case anything spawns on this floor. Now, there is the possibility there might not be a lock down here, but we've got to check. Whether there is a lockdown here or there isn't a lockdown here, you play it the same way. And yeah, I think we've all fallen trap to this then. I know I used to. I was like, there's clearly nobody down here. I can just go down there, no problems. Not true. Where's that? That's on my right. Is that around there? Or is that down there? See, there's one. Cheeky, you weren't spawned in. And that kill sounds like it spawned another. Or at least triggered another. We could have a quick look. I don't think loads are going to spawn in. There's one there. There's another one there. So they're gradually starting to filter in. This isn't a bad way to deal with this. I'll happily take one enemy on at a time, especially at a decent range. So I can hit the fucking headshots. So, did everybody catch the poll that I put on the little community tab? And if so, what did you vote for? What was your favourite arrow? Are the ones that I gave. Your selections were Tempest, Hog. I won't say what it's that. I won't say the acronym of it, but Wrath of God and because I might get censored. Wrath of God, Tempest, Hog, Winter's Bite. Which area did you think was best was the question on the table. There is no wrong answer, I might add as well. This isn't a quiz. You're not going to get a silver tongue out of this. It's it actually gives me some ideas as to what to do next. Yeah, I knew there would be. I knew there would be somebody who'd want Unholy Wind. The next quiz is actually going to be what's your worst enemy in the game? Ghost, Skeleton, Cupid, or Unholy Wind. Right, so I think we've done everything downstairs. I was getting a bit carried away there, and I started going up when I haven't even been down here yet. Now, Banshees like to do this a lot. This whole, let's be a bit risky. They seem to have like a really weird priority on spawning. I think it's because they're one of the enemies that moves around the most. Look at this. But this is a nice situation for us to be in. Hello. Where things are literally just spawning in. And you'll note that I am slow timing between each kill to make sure that I don't get snuck up on, because we wouldn't want that now, would we? It may even be worth coming back down here once we've done the next level. But at this point now, it's worth having another quick look outside and checking the outskirts again. Now, I know that this is a tedious process, and the fact of the matter is, I don't need to be doing it at this cycle. What are they doing? That's a big clump of cupids. That was a great shot. It's a very slow process. It's a very long and laborious process. But at 3 health a hit, you could see why somebody would do this. Do I need to worry? It's at cycle 7 where I start to take the game seriously. Or more seriously. Still probably not serious enough. But those are my problems. So, that room is always going to be difficult, regardless of what you do. One of the things that we can do to make it easier is try and clear what's above. If we clear what's above, that means we can clear what's on the sides. If we can clear what's on the sides, it can make that room easier. To do that, we would want to go up there. Look at that. Now, tuck in nice and tight on this wall, and hopefully things will come round. Whoa! That sounded like somebody just got entered rather harshly. I think that was the monk hitting the cupid. Oh look, who's on patrol? Not a banshee. So, the landing is secured, Ripley. We haven't done much, but we've got a little bit of space to play with. The other thing to know as well is if it does get hairy, a quick arrow over the side and we should hit something a little bit more aimed and we can get down there fast. Now we can start expanding our little landing that we've gained. You love to see it once upon a time. And that was as soon as I heard that teleport. It's instinctual now for me. You hit that slow time. So let's cut this corner. Nothing there. You've seen us, so we'll have you now. Right, so that's the other thing with having this top. Oh! The other thing with having this. See, I remember I said celebrate your long headshots. Admonish yourself for your mistakes, but celebrate the longies. Because I'm aiming in the general direction of if I get them, I do consider it a little fortunate. We might even do a little bit more. So let's check these corners. This is also another good way to deal with that mess if the orphan's down there, because when the orphan's there and if you go diving in to try and get her, it'll be these cupids that are on the sides that will hit you, and we may find that we may have a slightly similar situation. Now this is a bit dangerous. I can see two archers. And that is, for me, that's a nope out situation, especially with that guy. I don't fancy that fight, so I'm not going to take it. I'll literally remove myself from the situation. I know things are going to start coming up. Even that is a nope out situation as well. And I'll go and reposition. And I think I might even do that as well, just so I don't get taken. Deal with her because she's not part of my Hand of God slow crew, and you because you're the same. Put one in him to make sure he's staggered. Move back a little bit and get those headshots. Just in case anyone's not been this far or seen this higher cycle of play, Curse of God at this point is absolutely useless. It's can barely kill a cupid if I'm right at this sort of stage, which then means that if it locks onto anything but a cupid, especially in something like Paradise Lost, it won't kill them, which then means that you have to finish its work before it moves on. And also, and most importantly, it is taking HP from the enemy, which is stopping us getting as many headshots. So those are both good answers, Dave. I'll tell you now, there's a reason why I don't carry Tempest. However, see, this isn't a trick question, but it gives me stuff to talk about. The reason why I don't carry Tempest anymore is because the long and short of it is Tempest is doing a job for you that you can do by yourself. Tempest is hitting those really long shots. Tempest is taking Gabriel down real fast. I always need reason to talk, Vaughn. Yeah. Oh, Sean, you are so late. I'm gonna have to give you a detention at some point. Hello, Sean. Don't worry, you haven't missed much. We're just picking apart this horrible little section. So I was... I don't quite know what's going on with my tracking tonight, though. The sides of the walls don't seem to be where the sides of the walls should be. Oh, that's fixed it. A good old Oculus button. Yeah, the only thing that I will say about Tempest is it's doing a job that we can do. Tempest is great for hitting things at range. But it becomes a more and more worthless arrow. Tempest. It just becomes a more and more worthless is the wrong word. And the only thing is, so I'll be straight with it. The fact of the matter is, with Tempest, it gets to a point where it becomes useless. However, that time is when you deem it useless. Don't let anybody like me tell you that you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be using Tempest. But I can tell you there will come a time when you'll be like, I don't need Tempest anymore. It's not just that it becomes less valuable, because it does, but what you will find is if you want, it's the unfortunality about IDU. Let's sit in the fountain whilst I talk. There's not even any water. It's one of the no, that's not correct. I'll be straight. Tempest is a great arrow until you don't need it. Tempest is, and again, don't see this as derogatory, because we've all been there and we've all got to have been there to get to a higher level. I see Tempest now as the training wheels, and you won't until you're ready to get rid of them. Because, for instance, Tempest means that I can hit that Cupid no problem from here, and if your accuracy isn't there at that range, I could have done with a headshot to extenuate that point, never mind. But until you are there with it, loads of you are still there, and you should make use of these arrows. Yes, yeah, exactly like Barrage of Needles for the Ghost. The only difference is Barrage of Needles has no other use. Barrage of Needles has no other use other than Ghosts, really, now that it isn't good for point scoring. Yeah, you definitely outgrow them. The story that I had of outgrowing Tempest is it's having to accept this. I like doing things differently. I like trying to play this game in a different way, as you probably all know by now. And I like to break the meta. I like to do things differently. I'll tell you what we'll do quickly whilst I'm yammering on. Just going to check the bottom and see if anything else spawned, because we can get a lot of headshots out of these things these days. This does happen as well. I would not be surprised if there was a Banshee just floating around here that clearly wasn't here earlier. They seem to be one of the worst ones for spawning in late. But it looks like we got away with it. But we'll also take stock of the fact that if we wanted to, we could go ham on Winter's Bite. I'm not going to. We've also got a Blood of the Lamb back there as well. A little aid to memoir. Yeah, Barrage of Needles only has one real use now, which is Ghosts. And to be fair, if it's all you've got, use it, because a normal shot to a ghost or a barrage of needles shot to a ghost yields exactly the same amount of points. What I would have said is, if you are so as I was saying, I don't like that I have to carry this. It's even going to come to a point where that's probably going to have to be replaced by another one of those, or possibly a hog. I haven't decided yet. If you look at LG's quiver, I think it's all winters now. The beauty with Tempest, oh, there she is, look. The beauty with Tempest is it's actually got more utility. You can use it to kill lots and lots of enemies. God, it's almost like the game wanted me to do an intro to Tempest. You can use it to kill lots and lots of enemies in a line. It is fantastic for taking Gabe, like a massive chunk of health off of Gabe really quickly. And you're scoring headshots as well. There's an argument that using Tempest on Gabe up until about cycle 8 isn't a bad shout, because you do slightly less damage with the Tempest at a ridiculous range than you would with a normal shot, and you can hit the headshot easier. Points. Would I want to risk taking Tempest for something that I would need later down the track? Probably not. The reason why I'm here with the way that I have my quiver now, because that I used to have Hand of God before the Needles days. I used to have Hand of God as soon as I had it. I used to have Tempest. I think I used to have a Wrath of God, and probably one of the cats, a cat. And I had to look at my quiver, and I had to accept the fact if I wanted to get past Anakim 6, that I was going to need a Winter's Bite. Couldn't get rid of the cats, couldn't get rid of the Hand of Gods. I figured that I need them, and so it was down to, I think, Wrath of God and Tempest. And it was unfortunately Tempest that had to go. And then I found I didn't need one quiver of Winter's Bite, I needed 2. So then it was, what else needs to go? And that's the problem that you have later on, is you haven't got enough slots to carry all the things that you want. So you, unfortunately... Well, that was risky. So unfortunately, you have to start making decisions. And those decisions are harsh and not fair, and don't promote the variety that I want in this game. It's oh, I thought that was bang on. And that one. Right. I always like to come across to this side. You don't have as much of a overview of all of the mess of Cupids down there. We can again deal with what's on top and then strike downwards. To be fair, for what it's worth down there points-wise, it's probably not worth it at all. Now here, if I can keep my headshots, or all of my shots, accurate, I might not have to use anything. When I say accurate, if I had a quiver, I would have definitely used the Hand of God here. Just because it makes things easier. I can manage that number of enemies. I could probably manage maybe one more. The risk is that if I trying to manage that and miss a shot, I would bring her into the fray as well. And she's that far back. Like, these are prepared shots. These are prepared shots. Prepared shots! Oh dear. Those are prepared shots. I'm not in any danger from anything, so I can take my time with them a little bit. Sneaky. Clever girl. Where's she gone? Just lost interest and gone around the corner. Yes, she has. But yeah, if I missed any of the shots that I was doing here, they'll sail down the corridor, alert them, and that brings one more in. So this is one of the big calls for being accurate. I think we'll take him. We're not going to alert any of those, and we're not in visual range. We should be able to pop some decent headshots onto this guy. Yeah, should have had 2 out of them. And then we'll come around here. I'll do that one up. Let's deal with these whilst we're here. Let's be quick with it though, because I know there's a lot around here. And again, because pressure's on and there's 4 of them, I'm not even going to waste my time with trying to get headshots. Not that I think I would be able to hit those, but you can spend that little bit of extra time to try and get them. You know what? I don't think there's that many down here. And now we're going to try and divide and conquer these guys. Now, what will most likely happen is these witches will either, because they've been alerted, I'm slow timing at the moment, so they'll either float along this way, or more likely, they'll teleport over there, which is kind of not what we want. It gives us the range, but witches can be a bit of a pain in the ass because of that staff. Thankfully, it looks like they might have lost interest. Might definitely hasn't they? This is what crenellations are for. That's what I believe these are called, or battlements, whatever. And that's why they're designed the way they are and why they're sloped the way they are, to give archers a good line. And that is a perfect setup for us. Any return fire, it misses us completely because we've just taken a step back. That's why, you know, an enemy teleporting over there is always a pain in the arse. Now let's see if we can stay up here and nail some more headshots, because that's what we're here for. I think we'll take that guy at the back. Oh, didn't even fire. So yeah, up here on the crenellations, I can simply move backwards and I'm defended. Oh, volley 3. Oh, great arrow. It's actually not that bad. It's volley 3 or volley 5. It's one of the arrows that I've actually been using quite a lot recently. Those who tuned in at the start of the stream will have seen that I have removed Sir Camille of Crossbow from the top of the Fletcher leaderboard for the crossbow. I actually want to stream how I did it as well, because it's well, I find it quite exciting, but it's literally something that I was put onto the idea on with a combination of probably Elite Jonathan and LG, and also not so much John Holland, in that with Fletcher I literally start at cycle 1, kill the orphan, go into the pit, kill the orphan there, dance around the pit and kill just enough to escape the pit, go to Anakin, kill him, skip through Paradise Lost, kill the orphan, kill Gabe, and then kill the orphan in Abyss, go into the pit, kill the orphan there. I take it a bit slower in the Abyss pits because they're easier. Kill Asmo, start again cycle 2. That last score, the score that I got that put me just over Camille, because I like to game it a little bit. I don't want Camille to get disheartened with by me putting a huge score up. I want the competition, so I've stopped just above his score just to promote healthy competition, as you do. Excuse my ears a second. There you are. And yeah, it's quite a fast and furious way to play the game. It's quite exhilarating. It's very awesome. And it's I don't think the people are doing what I'm doing with it. Oh, I think I know where that one is. This could be a problem. She's either above us or she's directly across from us. I'm hoping she's above us. But if she's not, we're going to have to dive straight over there and deal. If we leave that knight, let's just make sure she's not... I know she's not below us. So she's up the top. We're going to have to deal with you, aren't we? And then I'm going to have to deal with you. That. So we're setting up that Hand of God, because we're going to have a lot of incoming, and this will just give us time to deal with it. I think it's going to be time to freeze you. Where the hell is she gone? There she is. So we're going to have to start dealing with some of these enemies that are in the area. Now, she should be a good girl and just sit on that edge, because we have that sweet spot. I might not even have to waste the hand of God, and if I don't have to, I won't. And what she's doing here is, she's off the edge. You always like to see that. What she's doing there, as I think I've explained before, is she hasn't got a lot of places to go to on this small section, so this isn't a bad spawn for her, but that all of that mess up there makes it a lot worse. That is not who I was aiming for. She can only teleport that far away. If I stand away from her and let her get to as far as she can, because she can't teleport across or go to any of the other platforms, and if I stand back here, I can literally just peg her with headshots all day, and all she'll do is keep on trying to leave. So, but thankfully, no trapdoors. God, it's like the devil, isn't it? You speak about Camille and he appears. Hello, Camille. How are we doing? I was just telling everybody about the methods I've been using to sneak just a little bit ahead of your Fletcher score with the crossbow. Just a little bit. So I don't think it's going to be a million miles away from what you're doing, if I'm honest. I'm not going to say it's part of my own device. It's kind of logical, I think. Hey, don't you want to be talked about? Everybody wants to be talked about. Come on now. Right. Here, obvious choice, I would imagine. Deal with the witch. She's the only real one that can get into range. And any cupids that spawn in. Yeah, the Fletcher run score that I've got is a technique. Something new that I'm playing with that I was just informing class about, which is just orphan and pits. That's it. And I was able to get to... Where did I get to? Oh, there is now. There is now. No worries, Jules. At least you're here. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Fletcher's been a bit of a mixed bag for me. I thought it was going to be... I mean, it is. It's good fun. I didn't think it was going to be slower than the main game to play it properly. No, it depends on what level you're at, I would say, on that statement, Sean. And you're quite right. Some people, it's why I am careful with my words, because everybody is at different stages of the game. Everyone's going through. The most important thing, like, I wouldn't want someone to come in and go, oh, I've been told Tempest is the training wheel's arrow, so I will not use Tempest. Well, the whole problem with that then is you don't learn all those valuable lessons that you will learn through having Tempest, and you won't learn all of those valuable lessons. I don't want to take that fight with a red monk. Get some better cover than that as well. You won't learn all of those valuable lessons. That was bad play. I shouldn't have left cover until I'd heard those 3 impacts. Whether I'd known it had been fired or not. Woo! That was 2 good shots. Go on, Camille. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Well, that is a serious question. Well, first off, because the purist thing is an easy one to answer. Yeah. Yeah, I'll come to that in a moment, and I'll tell you what I can to try and help out. But again, I think it's different for everybody. I'll quickly comment on the purist side of things. Purist is a great test to see if you are ready for playing the game without Tempest. It's a good way to work up to it as well, if I'm honest. But again, you know, there's people that like to take the game faster paced than me, slow paced than me, like to do it sneaky, like to get in face, like to enjoy long shots. The fact of the matter is, you play this game however you want. We're not going into that. I've definitely done some bits and pieces with Holy. Like my only I will get to your question, Camilla. Just know that it's a big one. I've got, is that a Holy armor? Pick that up last. Funny thing is, I've watched the recordings back as well, and you'll think like, oh my god, how did he know that was Holy armor? His eyes must be like that of a hawk's. This is where I get shot, by the way, as well, as I'm making myself to sound good. Fact of the matter is, no matter what I do with the stream, it's still going to be quite blurry at distance, unfortunately, which I'm trying to do something with, but I don't think there's much more that I can do. So, that's a mess. I want to kill you first. We're then going to get into this mess because we've got to really like to deal with it. So this isn't, believe it or not, a fight I should be taking. Oh yeah, why don't you just teleport in on top of each other? Easy. This isn't a fight that I should be taking, but this is kind of the use of Hand of God. Wait, I've got to wait for those 3 impacts before I go back out, or let them come round the corner. But we've done all right there. Didn't take a hit, at least. So yeah, if anyone is thinking like, Hand of God, I can't be bothered doing 1,701 ghosts, there's a good reason why you should. It can effectively double to triple the amount of enemies that you can deal with at a time. Even like this is cycle 7, this isn't cycle 1 or 2, so you get swarmed and plant that down. It can really help. Right, Camille, I will try and try and break this down. So I think one of the big things that I can tell you is you just add into the problems now, aren't you? So I don't know what your height and your wingspan are like. I know you can tell what maximum draw is. Me and Beanie have analysed this quite a lot because we also play another game called Knock, or play it a little bit anyway, and maximum tracking on that game is now a thing with maximum shot power. You can actually tell how much maximum draw strength is by putting the arrow in front of you, and you'll see that I can get a big enough wingspan, I suppose, for my hands. I mean, it's nothing special because the hands are out in front of me. Where the arrow stops moving any is maximum. The one thing that I will tell you is there should be no difference in score to maximum down to about, I think it was at 75% last time that I remember, but obviously you will do less damage. But they may have adjusted that as well to make sure that it can't be abused, so I don't know. You could try spiritual assistance. However, that is a drug that I would say not to get on because, as you well know, you then lose out on an amulet that could make a difference. Not that Blessed Quiver does a massive amount, but it's doing something unique. It's doing something in the game that you can't do yourself already. Ultimately, you want to be able to pull the arrow to a comfortable position. Now, you guys just aren't going to let up, are you? I'm trying to teach here. So one of the things that I do, you'll see that I try and draw the arrow really fast. And having it, the other thing is, remember, Camille, don't be too harsh on yourself. You've played the crossbow a lot. The bow will, although I think the way you started the game is the correct way, because you now have something better than being good at the bow. You have a solid and fundamental grasp of the mechanics and how the enemies work, and you've got that through using the crossbow. And my argument would be, and why I did a video on it, is it's easier to learn all of that shit on something that's super powerful than it is on something that isn't quite as powerful. But then you still have the problem of your consistency of shot. Now, I'm not saying that this is more down to the quest than anything else. But there's a couple of things that you need to understand. So when the two cameras at the bottom of the headset are tracking hand position, I don't know how much is actually taken care of with devices in the actual controllers themselves. But I would imagine, I know that the Ring has lots of lights on it that you can see in infrared. So although I don't think there's any technology within the hands, within the controllers to track, they can be tracked through this inside out, outside in. I can't remember which way it is. I play all this technology, but I don't know much about it. Ooh, that's a bad arrow. That was a really weak one, wasn't it? Now that's a bad situation that I don't really want to take. I'm going to try and put some damage across on some things before I get out, because I know that witches are slow to respond, or banshees are slow to respond, or it's a situation that I can quite easily extract myself out of. So, cute old chop. That was unnecessarily risky. A fast draw, I think, is key. I got my fast draw from practicing, from Siege of Heaven. And by fast draw, I mean working, actually putting some ging, as I would call it, some effort into your actual draw. And the reason why I think it works is if you pull, I have gone over this before, but I'm more than happy to say it again. If you draw the arrow slowly, there's more chance that it won't be released in the same trajectory that it leaves the camera, because a lot of tracking, as I understand it, is done with like a bit of guesstimation, a lot of guesswork. So if you draw it fast and release fast, then it can't do too much guessing. Jay's speculated, or I don't know if it's speculation or whether it's actual fact, but the arrow, I mean, he's going to know better than anybody else because he works with the bloody team, for Christ's sake. But the arrow tracks, steady, we don't want that yet. The arrow tracks where it has left the cameras and where it re-enters. Now, that doesn't matter to us because the cameras aren't tracking. Yes. 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 Yes, all of those things. The other thing that I would have said as well, one thing that will definitely get your accuracy on point, and if you don't believe me, speak to young Sean, is Siege Heaven. Give it a go. I would love to see you on the boards, my man. And I think you might enjoy it if you are. It gives you a reason to improve your accuracy. It doesn't have to be about ridiculously long-range headshots in that game either. It just needs to be about very short-range, consistent headshots, just like the actual game is. And then you can work those distances up. Quick IDU glance, just in case any of those cupids have had any strange ideas, because I was waiting for him to teleport in. But yeah, quick draw. And the thing with what Jay said about it controls where it, like the sensors and the Quest remember where the controller left your tracking, and then the rest of it is just whether you're holding the button or not. So we don't need to worry about where the arrow comes back in, because you leave your hand. Actually, maybe that's a good point. When you fire, make sure you leave your hand in your shooting position. Yeah, that is actually a really good point. And I'm sure you all do it anyway, but I will labour this point anyway. So you draw, release the trigger. Don't like move your hand back for another draw until you've released the trigger button, because that would throw, thinking on from what Beanie said in the past, that would really throw your shot off. I'm sure that's not what anybody does, but it's I don't know, worth mentioning. Trying to think what else could assist. So there are a few things which I can't. God, I really want that, don't I? See my hand going for it. So we're at the end. Just quickly before I carry on with this, we're at the end of the level. Why did I leave that holy armor until right for the end? Well, I'm confident that I can do Gabe without getting a hit, for starters. If anyone was watching last stream, you'll have seen another way. And I also know that there are bloods within the level. So if I'd have taken a hit, I could have come back and got those bloods and have the holy armor. Yes, yeah, that is a possibility as well, Camille. So the other one that I was going to comment on as well, that is a possibility that it might. I don't think it's going to punish you for holding too long on the arrow, but my reasoning is the longer you do hold down on the arrow, the more chance you can get this slip, because it does track. I think it's based less on the camera, because you can see that I've got my other hand behind my head now and I can still maneuver the arrow, and I think it does track, but it tracks based on just the controller alone instead of actually having a camera on it. Yeah, the one thing with spiritual assist is I think any shot that is about 75% then becomes 100. The fact of the matter is, if you have to use it, then you have to use it. Yes, you then don't get Blessed Quiver, but Blessed Quiver isn't. I mean, you know, it's very easy for me to say, oh yeah, Blessed Quiver doesn't matter that much. I would normally get 26 Hand of Gods. Instead, I get 35, so that's an extra 9. Could be the difference. I know LG uses his Blessed Quiver for freeze, and I think it's literally because it gives more. I think he gets 43. Was that who I think it was? 2 seconds. Thought I heard a Ray S. Hello, Ray. I don't think you've been in this stream before, but I know you put lots of lovely comments in, so thank you for joining us. Headset wise, oh, okay, yeah, nice one, Camille. I'll probably talk about tracking a little bit. Headset wise, or carry on talking about tracking a little bit rather. Headset wise, head positioning would affect it slightly. So if you were at a straight on angle, hopefully Gabriel doesn't jump me whilst I'm trying to. If you're at a straight on angle, both of the cameras, although they're kind of like fisheye lens, they would both be facing forward. Whereas if you are at a sideways, like in an archer stance, then the cameras can track more across your body. And it's like the drug that you never want to get off of. Just for those that missed the way to do Gabe previously, I can make him fly forever and never attack by simply staying close and making sure I keep pillar on the left and real estate sky on the right, and then move, and I move before he stops. And I can literally do this all day, and if I wanted to, I could be shooting him and damaging him. But that's not how we make points. We make points by missing that Hand of God? No. We make points by doing this. Oh, this is going to be a long fight. Tell already. Oop, that's my fault for playing the crossbow. Oh, I just lost my arm. So, yeah, remember which hand does shard. Ah, that was a silly mistake. So because I've been doing what I was talking about earlier with the crossbow, my hands are changed. And that's quite annoying. But it's alright, we'll get another one. It's only... I mean, that would have normally cost us 3 health. So that still has some sort of value. It's just annoying that that was a mistake as opposed to a genuine bit of play. What I was trying to do was this. Now, we can also keep our bubble in the game a little bit longer by manipulating Gabe to stay in it for longer. Oh, you ducked that on purpose. Shield, left. Oh, there we go. And that's why you put your shields up, boys and girls. Let's get some life off this dude. Don't need to here. I don't want to waste shots on him at this range. I want him further back. I want him there. Because the longer the range, more the damage, more the points. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, there's the fireball coming in. I tell you what, so the reason, this is why I have my shield up, and the reason why I got hit a couple of times there, but obviously didn't take any life, because you can block them. You just have to make sure you have the shield up, and this is why I do it. I really wish I hadn't sharded backwards, though. That would have been great. This is why I do it. But again, like most things in Death, the reason being is I was being greedy, trying to keep him in my hog, and I allowed him to come out at a little bit of a wider angle. And instead of looking away from him more and retreating more behind the pillar, I chose to stand here. Risky play. I would never do that, like past cycle, well, 7. Yes, there is warrant in the fact that you... That's not bad for us. There is warrant in the fact of removing the headset and putting it back on again. It may just be something as simple as an adjustment. A couple of other things that I would mention as well. Again, placebo effect, I don't know. Do I have stock in 1.5 volt batteries? I do not. However, a few of the things that I've done, I try and make sure that there are no computer monitors on. I don't think ones that are off have too much of an effect, but I do think ones that are on, ones that are off possibly can, because they're more mirrored. Definitely remove any mirrored surface that you could have like direct line of sight. I do actually have a small mirror in here, but I'm far enough and it's at that much of an angle that I don't think it makes any problems. 1.5 volt batteries. Most batteries in the UK are actually 1.2 volt. Most rechargeable batteries are also 1.2 volt. I made a point of getting 1.5 volt. Why? Because the controllers actually say that they are designed to work with 1.5 volt batteries. I got a decent deal on what I believe was a good brand. Oh, this isn't working out so well. This is a risky fight that I don't want any part of anymore. I regret my decisions. I'm moving away to cover. That's what you get for having a conversation. I was trying to put some long-range headshots in on archers. But again, even that's just 2 archers. I should be able to manage that, right? Well, at 3 life loss per time, I don't really want to have to. I shouldn't be engaging them at this range, but I'm going to anyway. Anyway, 1.5 volt batteries. I think we'll get a bit closer and finish these guys off. 1.5 volt batteries, the only disadvantage that I found with them, the only problem is as well, I can't say yes, 1.5 volt batteries make a difference. These are just a lot of things that I did all together that I was told may have an effect on tracking. And I did all of this whilst I was competing on one of the Siege of Heaven tournaments a long time ago, because I wanted to. That was a bad shot. I wanted to make sure that my tracking was at its peak for what I was doing. So I got rechargeable. To begin with, I got rechargeable batteries, and then later on I invested in 1.5 volt. So 1.5 volt rechargeable batteries is what I have in my controllers. Make sure you're clear of no mirrors. Make sure there are no on computer screens. Again, I don't think off seems to affect it too much. One of the other things, and this is recent, and again, I don't know if this is a factor or not, but in my play space where I would normally assign my front, I have a disc plate. If I didn't have a disc plate there, it would just be one big blank plain wall. And I don't know if it's theory or if it's actual fact or practice. I don't know, maybe I'm just saying all these things and they're all false. I don't know, but I think they all add up. I have a disc plate, so where my hand is now. So this is my normal front viewing play space. And I have a disc plate on the wall here. And what that does is it breaks up the monotony of just colour in front of the cameras and gives it a clear defined edge and thing to track as center. I've been told that that makes a difference. I can't remember where I was told that or where I read it. I definitely did. I can't tell you how reliable the source is, but I believe that all of these things mean that I get very little in the ways of tracking issues. The only tracking issues that I seem to have are ones that I think are down to the controllers actually cutting out and my hand just going and just floating off into the middle distance. And I don't think that's tracking. I think that's a controller issue more than anything else. One of the things that we didn't cover last time we were here is a great way to deal with these skeletons. Now, what do we know about skeletons? They're easy to alert. What do we also know about skeletons? They'll teleport close. And the last thing we know about skeletons is they work exactly like knights, except they have no ranged attack. They can't come up here. There are certain roofs, however, where I have seen them teleport up to. However, I believe that's a glitch. Once I have them into an open space like this, sat up here, well, they can do nothing but, I don't know, shake around, take headshots really nice. I know skeleton warriors aren't that much of a pain? That much of a pain? But for those of you that do find them difficult, this is one way to deal with them. Hello, K2. And it's another way as well. Again, I say deal with them, but it's a way to... We can make some distance on them to get the range for those headshots as well. We can put a lot of damage on them. We can deal with them without any threat to us. And more importantly, we can take our time. Oh, skeleton warriors. Skeleton archers, yes. Thankfully, skeleton warriors don't throw hatchets, or we'll get to find out just how good a marksman they are with that. If knights are good at throwing, imagine what skeleton warriors are like. Jeez. That was a risky glitch. Right, we want to be on this one here. We want to check our back to make sure that things aren't in range. They might be, so I'm going to take them out before they can get the drop on me. Yeah, skeleton warriors aren't a difficult prospect to deal with. However, if we can extreme that range, we can get more points out of them. And if we can get more points out of them without having to do a lot and not take any risk, well, you better believe I'm going to do that. So again, this one can be a bit difficult to deal with on higher cycles because he can spawn a hell of a lot. Or he used to be able to. I think they've reduced the numbers of spawns now. But we can still, again, get a decent distance on him. We can get that angle. Unfortunately, that is not a double gap shot. Although, in Siege of Heaven, it probably would be considered. And then we don't need to worry about how we hit his minions, because whether the summoner is dead or not, these guys are worth mille fois. You can tell that they're worth nothing because when you get a headshot on them, no gold comes out, and when you kill them, no gold comes out. I think that is true of any enemy that does that. If you kill them and no gold comes out, you are scoring nothing. So there's no point carrying on. So yeah, I'll say again, because I don't know. 2 seconds, I'm gonna have a quick wet whilst I'm thinking about this. I'll say again, because there's a few more of you here now. No live stream on Saturday, unfortunately, as I have work. This is probably going to be the way of things as well. The last weekend of the month, I always have quite a big job on, a little money maker that I do, my side hustle, so to speak, which some of you I think are aware of. And yeah, it's something that I can't ignore at the moment. I'd love to be able to give it up, but now is not the time. So yeah, we won't have a stream on Saturday, but I will have another giveaway stream next week on Wednesday, where we are going to be looking at a game that is fast becoming, well, as somebody who does or used to practice a lot martial arts wise, I actually accredit a lot of my VR skills or play or lack thereof down to martial arts and just having a decent control and dexterity of my own body, which has all come from years and years of martial arts training. We're going to be looking at a game called Dragon Fist Coming Through, and it's just, I can't wait to show it off. I'm very excited. I love Sweet Surrender for what it does. Hand of God, lovely. I love Sweet Surrender, and it's a really great game, but ultimately it's very similar to what you already have on in Death. It's definitely got its place though, because it's a lighter version of In Death, and obviously a completely different theme and a completely different way of playing, but it's still a roguelike, and it's something that will reward you for putting a decent amount of time in. And again, those VR lessons that you may have learned from other games apply in there as well. Dragon Fist Kung Fu, on the other hand, well, I haven't played a lot in the ways of fighting games. I'm not into, I do have Thrill of the Fight, and I think it's a fantastic boxing simulator, but the martial artist in me is like, why can't I elbow? Why can't I gouge this guy's eyes out? Why can't I rip his heart out to it and show it him as he dies and then feed it him? And the reason being is because apparently that's not allowed in boxing. However, I'm sure, you know, in some tournaments and some games, it would be. Now, that doesn't mean that you can rip somebody's heart out and feed it to them whilst they're dying in Dragon Fist Kung Fu, but what it does have is it just has an exceptional fighting system, and there's lots to do on it. And not only have I found it really enjoyable, but I found it my workout game now. Should I be doing this? Probably not. It's a harder prospect when these guys have got shields as well, because, oh, get out. Harder prospect to manage those when you've got shields, because your headshots need to be on point. But yeah, Dragon Fist is quickly becoming my workout game. I usually play Beat Saber and Pistol Whip in the mornings, as I'm sure a lot of you guys do, just to get a sweat on and just to be in VR and doing something that I think is, you know, getting the body working and getting a bit of a sweat on. Now, I've been playing those games for a long time. Pistol Whip, the way I play it, I get a lot of squats in. And Beat Saber, I'm only playing it on Expert, because I think Expert Plus, I wouldn't be striking, I would be flicking to hit the notes. I'm doing that before I get hit by those, you know. I would be flicking my hands to make sure I hit the notes. Or maybe I'm just not good enough for Expert Plus, but Expert is where I feel comfortable at and can work out and enjoy myself. However, Beat Saber does get a little stale. to be fair, I have been playing Beat Saber. It's one of the first titles I ever bought, so of course it's going to get stale. Now, Dragon Fist. Woo! Yep, you and me both. You and me both, K2. Yeah, it's the problem that I find with pistol whip is I like to play it two guns akimbo, or whatever you want to call it. It's just the way I've always played games like that, and I really enjoy the two-handed side of things. Problem is, you can take care of things a lot quicker, or I can take care of things a lot quicker than that, which means that then you don't have to dodge bullets quite so much, which then means you're not getting as much of a workout. So I then have to play at one gun mode, and I don't enjoy one-hand gun mode as much. It's still good. Well, that's good. That's one of the hardest pits to get into on that little crazy Fletcher run thing that I was talking about earlier. So. Oh, something else I will mention as well, just in case anybody caught it, missed it, haven't seen it on the community tab or anything along those lines. If Sweet Surrender did take your interest and it was something that you were looking at getting, at the moment is, yeah, bullet hell indeed. At the moment, Sweet Surrender is 30% off. Now, as I've said before, the game is decent value for money. I'd go one up from decent. I'd say it is good value for money, especially with the fact that they are constantly bringing more and more things to the Sweet Surrender pot. But at 30%, I'd personally say if you like your roguelites and you like your shooters, it's a bit of a no-brainer. It's so well put together, and they're doing more with it as well. Anyway, that's enough advertising. I'm supposed to be talking about this stupid game. But yeah, so no stream Saturday. Next Wednesday is going to be Dragon Fist VR Kung Fu. And I'm going to have... It's a one-man development team as well. I speak to the guy quite a lot, and I think he's absolutely freaking amazing with what he's done as a one-man band. Obviously, he's hired out a little bit on artists and maybe other bits and pieces as well. But for the most part, he's made the game by himself, which I think is amazing. And not only am I going to have him in the chat, but I'm hopefully going to have some keys to give away. Well, hopefully, I have some keys to give away for the game as well. So hopefully you can all join me next Wednesday, and we'll be using the black belt karate uniform emoji in the chat to signify. Didn't hear that one because I was chatting. To signify that you want to wait. Yeah, that's the situation you want to be in. That you signify that. Will you take a set of those keys? But yeah, it's going to be there's a black belt emoji, black belt karate uniform emoji that will signify that you want to be in the giveaway. For any of those watching that might be interested in that, make sure you schedule. Yes, Kim, you'd best find that emoji. See, the problem is, Kim, like, I was desperate to make sure that you at least got in with a chance to win it. And so the lady that reads out things to me, so when you were all in the stream, the lady that reads things out to me into the headset just goes, robot face, robot face, or just, I think it was just robot, robot. And then, of course, instead of doing the emoji, you typed it out, so it said robot. So I was like, yes, she found it, when you didn't. So, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Kim, just for you, you can have a little practice run if you can find it. Go for it. Yeah, I get it. You were trying to search and you typed it in, but for someone who's not looking at the screen, I was like, oh, good, Kim's in. Right, start the competition. And to be fair, the dev team were under strict orders. If people have not put the emoji in, then they're not in, because it's the only way that I can differentiate. We might be able to do something a little bit more spicy with the upcoming Dragon Fist stream. I've got an idea. So as long as Von is ready with that humble pie. There we go. That sounded like the one. As long as you actually did the emoji and didn't write martial arts uniform, because I wouldn't know the difference at the moment until I checked the headset. Oh, sorry, I was talking. Slow down. I'll have a wet. Oh, I thought someone said hi. Nope, it was the lady of Von saying pie. And yes, well done, Kim. I think I haven't checked. There you go. Does anybody want to take a wild stab in the dark? I can't remember if I mentioned it or not. Right, remind me we've got a hand of God. So now, I don't need it, but we could start going ham on hog, as I've said before. As you should. I don't need to. Yeah, hello, Weeble. Well done for making it in instead of 15 seconds at the end. No, you're in good time, mate. We're well underway. We finished Paradise Lost. We had some armor. We lost some armor because of silly, shardy mistakes. But we are here now. Yeah, as far as... but yeah, I won't go on too much about it. But part of the reason why I want everybody to do the emojis in the chat is one of the things may not matter to you. So like that's a good hand of God situation, I think. Yes, I can deal with them. Is it a bit risky? Possibly. Does it allow me to slow down, take my time, and ensure that I'm getting the headshots? See, another thing that you may, the executioners amongst you may have noticed what I'm doing is I haven't killed anything in a good 10 seconds. If I get all of these headshots and then kill them in quick succession, I'm getting bonus points from executioner. Is it worth that much in the way of points? No, that was probably worth a few hundred extra, because in essence, although I lowered all of their lives, I killed them in quick succession, and that's how you get the executioner points. But this is why executioner becomes null and void at later levels, because you're not going to do that to a full room of enemies. You'd be an idiot too. But that was an opportunity, I suppose. But yeah, the reason why I do it is because I'm starting, and this is good advice for anybody who's watching streaming and ever wanted to have a go or anything along those lines. With the data that I get from what I do, I'm starting to see a correlation in the number of people that the maximum number of people that I have watching live tapered with how many messages there is. So for instance, the last video that we did where Beanie did his little competition thing and you guys were all answering questions, and just most streams, to be honest with you, just all doing what you're doing, all your lovely spells, asking all your awesome questions. Those are ones that get pushed more by YouTube. Why does that matter to you? Well, bigger I get, more I beat players, and more weight I have for approaching bigger developers. Whoa! Pretty sure I blocked that, mate. More weight I have for approaching developers of bigger titles and getting more out of them, which ultimately means more free opportunities to win things when I do those kinds of streams. Long and the short of it is everything that everybody's doing at the moment is fucking awesome, and all helping a lot. And also, doing the videos that I do, and will be doing, does get to the point where it feels a little bit like work. Doing these live streams, I'm actually allowed to play the game again. It's brilliant. Not just hunting around for footage to make light or fun or teach the point that I'm trying to teach. I can just do it live. Which I can. Now, that'll teach me for talking about other games. Well, I didn't respect the IDU team. That's what I didn't do. And we've lost ourselves some life. So, for those of you not aware, I'm trying to lure the incubi outside here so that I can peg him with some long-range shots. That's not the right side. It's more my fault than anything. You are not to blame. That's more like it. See if we can peg that. So, at this level, we are at cycle 6. Cycle 7. At this level, any hit from anything, each hit takes 3 HP off of us, which is obviously not good. I'll get these headshots at this range. Come on now, there's one. Damn it. There's one. And he is going to get out of range. Now, I would have said he is approaching maximum range. The only thing that I can say as far as that Weeble is concerned is it's just practice. You need, I know it's difficult, but you need to be snow globing at as early a cycle as possible. That wasn't great, but we got a decent amount of headshots out of that, and they were at a decent range. You need to be snow globing as early as possible, and the reason being is just to promote that practice. Was the pit in the next stage? I can't remember if I've been past it or not. I don't think I have. There it is. That's something that I'll come to talk on about as well. Let's just have a quick skip back, because I think there might have been a blood. Might gonna bloody need it at this rate if I keep taking silly hits like this. Yeah, just keep practicing. That's all you can do. He is, and the one thing that I would have said is he has got the technique down. He just needs now to refine it, and I know he can do that as long as he keeps up at it. But that is going to, he's picked it up recently and can do it and has adapted to it quite quickly, because I think secretly he always knew that that's what he needed to do. Secondly, he also he can do those maneuvers. Rico's good. I think Rico's good. As far as your general level of play, so I would have said if you are struggling, if you follow my little plan, that should get you, in the video that I did, that should get you like as far as cycle 6, possibly, well, it should get you further than that really, but there are some humps along the way. But making sure all the other little things are taken care of. Silver lining is probably one of the biggest things to do. Yeah, oh yeah, of course. Silver lining is probably one of the bigger things to do, and that is, like, that takes a lot of time and practice to make sure, to be confident that you are manipulating Anakin as much as you can. Is this the one with the side bits? No, it's not. Manipulating Anakin around the room as much as you can. You'll see if you watch any of the videos that I do of him, I can, with quite a lot of certainty, make sure that he moves where I want him to move. This is something that I wanted to point out as well. You can nearly always see the portals, especially in Abyss, and they obviously look like that at a distance. I don't see how well you can see that. If you can't see them, it means one of two things. It's not in that section, or it's in one of the underground spawnings. And there's only... Ooh, I think there's only one of those, and that's in the room with the summoner. Right, hopefully, holy armor. Right, I'm going to close my eyes, I'm going to walk in, it's going to be holy armor, holy armor, holy armor, blood of the lamb, blood of the lamb. Well, no, it didn't do it right, did it? It went blood of the lamb, blood of the lamb, blood of the lamb, no holy armor. That's not right at all. So, we'll get one of these. Okay. And we'll get another one of these. And we'll leave it there. And I won't turn myself blue in the face as to why we're doing that. I'll try and give the quick explanation of we are leaving it at 1 because then we've still got a blood left and it could give us 2 back if we take a ding. If I take that now, the way this game works, it will either reward it as a 1 or as a 2 regardless, I think, of how much life. It's just good practice. Oh, and we've got another quiver there as well. That's lovely. Let's get those guys out of the way first. This bit, I like to approach it from the left, and I'll get right up in these guys' faces. Well, in that case, then, so other people have said about that as well. And what I would imagine is happening is you may be hitting Anakim late. No, you may be hitting Anakim too early. Hang on. 2 seconds, I missed that last bit. Oh, you mean you get a lot? No, I mean, getting a lot is what you should do. Okay, so one of the things that you could do to slow the numbers down is this is a bit of a bone of contention because Beanie was trying to tell me differently and I proved it in one of the streams the other day. But one of the ooh, that was a bad move. That was a very bad move. Right, let me just deal with this and then I'll tell you another approach, because again, this is something that some of my videos are in desperate need of an update. I didn't think snow globing would be one of them, but with the likes of, I believe it was, yeah, I think it's Camille, who found out about the whole being able to lock the knights out of spawning. I came across it, in all honesty, in last season. Oof. Sneaky from the shadow. I came across it last season whilst in a video, and in that video I actually died on Anakim 15, I think, or 16. It was basically my last bow run of the season, and I'll be honest, at the time I didn't realise what was going on. I'd killed all the knights, but I hadn't related that to hadn't killed all of the abominations, and so no more knights can spawn, as we now know. So it is very much Camille's discovery, but it's something that I was... would I have pursued that thread? I don't know, because then that would have meant that you don't really need to snow globe as much. But as I say, the point is, Camille's little discovery means that my video needs updating a lot sooner than I thought it would be. Now, one of the things that you could do, and again, this is something that I will include in this new video if I can ever pull myself away from live streaming, because I fucking love live streaming, is you could, instead of hitting Anakim with a Winter's Bite as the first arrow, hit him with a normal arrow. Up until about cycle... because it's basically, the first trigger is based on a percentage of damage. I hate all of that, so I'm going to take that at a different angle, and we're going to go down the bottom. We've dealt with the cupids here, so let's jump straight into these guys and deal with them. Ooh, steady. You could... Let's make sure we get these cupids first before I start yammering. 1, 2, woo! 3 little headshots. That was that downward angle with them leaning backwards. It does make the headshots a little bit easier because their head's more of a prominent target and everything doesn't seem to get in the way as much. So the argument that Beanie put forward was that the first hit on Anakin triggers the first wave of monks. You've watched the video, you understand how the wave system of monks works. The argument that Beanie put forward was that I disproved, I might add, but only on further cycles. You'll get there. Just all you have to do, Dan, is keep playing. The HP isn't a problem. It's the technique that you use to take them. Whether boredom creeps in, now that is another issue for another time. Anyway, so what you could do is the argument that me and Beanie were, or argument, it's never an argument with me and Beanie. I love the guy. It's always a discussion. This is going to be a difficult prospect as well because we've got an orphan to deal with. And I think she's in that structure there. Let's go and have a quick look-see. We could always bounce back if she's somewhere. I don't think she is. Yeah, I think she's in there. Where is she? Okay, so she's tucked around that corner, and I know there's a lot of knights there. So the discussion that me and Beanie were having is he was telling me how... That's a good opportunity for a water break as well. He was telling me how the first shot on Anakin, regardless, will trigger the first wave. My argument was, no, it isn't that. It's based on a percentage of health lost. He then went on to cycle 1, fired the most pathetic weak arrow at cycle 1 Anakin like that, and lo and behold, it triggered the first wave of monks. I tried that very same thing on, I think, cycle 5, very weak, pathetic shot, and it did not. Now, one of the things I can tell you if you're playing with the bow is if you fire a vanilla arrow at Anakin at that distance, you should be doing about 230 to 240 damage. And if you can hit him with a headshot, then I can almost guarantee you that that will be enough damage to spawn the first wave of monks and nothing else. But once you have fired that shot, you can't afford to fire any more. If you fire any more, you run the risk of triggering knights. So it's something, instead of making your opening shot a Winter's Bite, if you were to make your opening shot a vanilla arrow, you could potentially just deal with one wave. We're going to try and make this as safe as possible. And we're going to do that. Because this isn't a nice situation to jump straight into, and we know we've got Hand of God. Again, do I really need to do that? No, I probably could have dueled them from back there. Should I? No. But I also didn't know how many knights were going to be exactly up here, because there can be 2 or 3. It is first arrow on cycle 1, as you quite rightly said, though, with the... so it's basically a damage threshold. They can still hit you when they do that, which is why I had to block it. Whether the hit registers or not, when they are dead, that sword can still strike. I've had it before. Tell you what, let's deal with this orphan first, and then I'll tell you all about my theory on it. So the way we're going to deal with this... We're going to leap back a little bit. We're going to hit her with a Hand of God. And then we're hopefully going to keep her at what she thinks is a safe distance, which she hopefully won't ignore. Try and deal with some of those. No, I think we're going to have to nope out of that situation. Now, will she? Won't she? Where's she going? Now, this is where it starts getting dangerous, because you can see these stray arrows are starting to alert enemies that we do not want to be fighting at the same time as doing this. Now, is she going to stay there and be a good girl? I think she is. But, again, risky business with those guys there, but we might freeze them, Hand of God her. Oh, she definitely wants to run today. Come on, hit. There we go. So again, she got... Now, the problem is, was that worth it? I mean, I think so. A headshot on an orphan seems to be worth more points than a headshot on a regular enemy. If for nothing else, you get double the gold. Is that worth taking those risks? Probably not. So the question was with the crossbow, because yes, it can do, at longer range, it does pathetic amounts of damage. However, I would wager a single crossbow bolt on cycle. Forgot about you. Oh, I thought you were dead, to be fair. Now you are. A single crossbow bolt. Are they still waiting patiently? Yes, they are. Lovely. Cheers, lads. A single crossbow bolt does 126 at full damage, something in that region, like full distance bonus and whatnot, and then the fact that obviously the bolts get weaker the further they travel. I would say one crossbow bolt into Anakim 1. You know what? We could just as easily save this and go and do some testing if you like. I'm happy to do some testing. Yeah. I'm glad it isn't just me that Beanie's opening the bloody trapdoor up for. But that way, although it's a little bit riskier for the likes of, like, possibly yourselves, it depends on how comfortable you are with hitting a headshot at that distance. As long as you are comfortable with letting her get at that range and then using the caveat arrows of Hand of God to take the pressure off a little bit and using freezes to stop enemies that are getting around, it's a good way to deal with her. It's a little bit more points. I haven't worked out exactly how many, if I'm honest. I think a headshot on a orphan is a little bit easier. We could do some testing. Let's get... What time are we on? I like doing testing. Don't know how exciting it is, but I like doing testing. Okay, we've got a decent amount of battery life left. Let's clear this section. We'll break up the monotony of headshot with some low cycle testing. Ooh, hello. Arrow to the knee. Always a risky prospect to fight those guys downstairs. Try and avoid that because they make the headshot nigh on frickin' impossible. Stagger that one. Again, risky. Yep. Do I need to be doing this? No. Should I be doing it against white and red monks? Because they are the fastest arrows in this west? Definitely not. Am I rushing to try and get things sorted so I can go and do some testing? Yes! Another one of my harebrained schemes that you lot agreed to. Say you lot. Kim agreed to. Oh! Von West Pie. Ugh. Just about to say about pie. Again, no, we're not too worried. We've got a health, and I'm sure we'll pick up some more. However, let's pull this back a little bit. Ruined my own leisure time now. Taking another hit. So you can see, hopefully now, why I did what I did with the Blood of the Lamb at the shop. Because if that was a 2, we're now going to get some value. No, you can't. So the thing is, like, you'll hear me admonish myself when I make a mistake. The mistake that I made there, though, is not a mistake that I'm going to admonish myself for because I'm chatting with you guys, and that's part and parcel of it. This is how I'm trying to. No, that's good. That's very good because they're all worth a lot of points. But yeah, this is something that I'm not going to admonish myself about too much because this is my challenge. So I can play this at a reasonable level, I think, and I can get reasonably far. My new task, don't want 4, this is dangerous. We've got handguns, we can do it. My new task is I would like to try and get as far as I can, further than anybody has got during a live stream with the bow, and then repeat that on the crossbow. And I would also like to do that whilst chatting. I should be able to do it without too much problems now that I have both ears back. Although it's not an easy building, that one. Although it's a skill that I haven't actually been able to practice recently, and it's obviously evolving a little bit because it now involves a really monotonous lady talking into my ear, or into my skull, as it sometimes feels. But I used to be really good at chatting shit whilst formulating decent responses down to nice Wibble. Down to some of the games that I used to play at I don't know, reasonably competitive level. Those of you who play with me will know that I still like chatting a little bit of shit, but I used to do it a lot, and the reason why I used to do it is because I can do it, and I used to find that there's people that can't concentrate while somebody is talking at them whilst they are playing. I used to do this in martial arts as well. It's funny how somebody can train to fight all their life and be better than you, but the moment you strike up a conversation with them, they go to absolute shit. Is it dirty? Probably. Am I going to exploit them and use it to my advantage? You goddamn right. If I'm going to cheese in this, I'm not going to stop outside the game. No way. A, B, C. As Legend of Total War would say, always be cheesing. So, let's get these ghosts out of the way, and then we're going to go back to the shop. We're going to grab that blood of the lamb, see how we are on life, go and do some testing, come back and finish up with a portal. But yeah, so my whole point with that little tirade about why I'm doing what I'm doing is it's almost like a skill that I possess that I want to level up. I want to be able to play this as best as I can whilst listening and formulating decent responses, and maybe throwing a bit of teaching in there as well, without having to think too much about it, because I've said a lot in this game that reaching that zen point, it's a quiver, reaching that zen point where you are just playing and not concentrating can be very dangerous. However, I think if you practice it, I think it's something that I could potentially come good at. There you go, just dropped straight into that like an idiot. Let's get those headshots in. But yeah, I think it's something that I can become better at. And so, thank you. And you lot thought that I was teaching you. That's not the case at all. You lot are teaching me. But everybody helps each other. I can learn plenty from anybody. And I will learn this from you lot, whether you like it or not. So, on that ominous note, let's get back to the shop, grab that blood, save, and let's do some testing on Anakin. And hopefully I can give you guys a little bit more insight into something. But we'll have to change profiles. And the reason why I'm going back, this is something that I like to do as well. I do not like missing pits. I really don't like missing pits. I can look at my score and go, fuck, I've forgotten the pit. and I really don't like missing pits, which is why if I'm planning on coming off and the pit is in the first section, I will always do that pit before I come off. Even if I have to get off, I will always do that pit, because if you save and it's behind you, I ain't planning on going back, and I would forget that. I would try and remember it. I've even gone as far as writing it down, but as you all know, my memory is shocking. If the pit is in front of me like that, so I always play the same way so that I know when I come back on, it's like an aid to memoir. I can remember that I will always either finish the pit or leave it in front of me. I can remember that, regardless of how shocking my memory actually is. Don't know if anyone saw that. I'll have a look at that in a sec. Weeble, 2 seconds. Don't know if anyone saw that or not, but therein I think is the reward for what I consider smart play. I picked up that Blood of the Lamb when I could afford to heal 2, and it allowed me to heal 2. Fact is, I've got no proof as to whether that would have been a 2 heal or if it calculates it at the time of picking it up or anything along those lines. However, what I can tell you is if you always treat every blood like you're going to get 2, then that would say that you always leave that top one empty if you're at 11 life and would move up to 12, or if you're one last piece of life before maximum and you've got a blood to pick up, you leave it. In the situations that you guys would be in, let's get out of here. In the situations that you guys would be in cycles 1 to 4, if you have got 11, if you've got 11 hits out of the 12, oh yeah, we're gonna have to change profile. Look at that. IDU life begins at 100%. Even I haven't got 100%. That's just the sigils, though. I haven't had a chance to do them on this profile yet. Change profile. And to be fair, even when I do have 100%, I think I'm going to keep one profile for a run and one profile for sigils. It's a new system, and I have heard of people losing their main game runs whilst flicking between different things, and I wouldn't want that. Thank you very much. Like, for instance, Sean, you're one of the ones that I would push the example on, and I think you've taken it, is like you've always said, like, oh, it always seems like you only get 1, you never get 2. When I'm streaming, I don't know, I feel like I always seem to get 2 and very rarely get 1. So, but yeah, in the situations that you guys may be facing, and we'll go in with the crossbow for this. What are we on? For unusual fortitude, because I've been doing Fletcher. And I should be able to chat whilst I'm doing this. This is easy enough. In the situations that you guys would find yourself cycles 1 to 4, if you have 1 health before maximum, if you take 1 more damage, then you would be 2 off of maximum. Well, proof of the pudding, and be honest with it as well. I don't need you to say, oh yeah, definitely, Rob, just because I said it. Do you genuinely now think that the 30% is a little bit more in your favour? Yeah, that's what put me off massively, is him. I think it was Camille and, dare I say, Harry? Possibly. I know there was someone else that lost it. And the thing is, yeah, always the way. The thing is, it's an untested system, and I have the ability to not have to risk it because I have 2 profiles. Ergo, I won't risk it until it's been stress tested a little bit more by other people, not me. So, now I'm quite sure that this will work. However, the reason why I'm doing this is, like I was saying, I can't remember who was saying about the crossbow bolt damage, but I want to try and find out what the minimum amount of damage that you could do to Anakin would be on cycle 1 to spawn a monk. Let's see if I can do something. What's the minimum amount of damage that we can do to Anakin? I know. Do you? This is something that I've been using in my Fletcher run as well. You can shield and teleport. So what we're going to try and do here is we're going to try and teleport past Anakin and hit him. Might not work though. Hello, Norb. Don't know exactly, because I wouldn't use this as a tactic, because it's highly dangerous. I don't think it works on Anakin anymore, you know? I don't think it works on anything anymore. Maybe... There was a time when that wasn't an actual teleport, and it was a... Because now it seems like instant translocation. Even though it looks like it's animated, I don't think the model is anymore, and that might be like a new limitation of the game since Desolation or something along those lines. There was a time, yeah, so you can now only hit the ones that you land next to. So here's a way to find out. Can't hit him. Can't shield bash Anakin live. So I don't think we did any damage there. So let's get rid of those. Let's try not to hit Anakin. Let's get him really far away. Let's use this corner. And then let's take him to this corner. One of the things that I will say is I never let go of the locomotion stick when I'm doing this silver lining stuff. And that's, again, when I found it out, it's one of the things that I was still working on, but I wanted to put it out there because I like putting these things out there because then it gives you guys something to test. That's still not far enough away. I want to lead you right up the top. So for those of you who might be wondering what we're trying to do, we're trying to find out what the minimum amount of damage is that Anakin can take with a crossbow to trigger the first wave. I think it will definitely proc off of one shot on cycle 1. However, at later cycles, I know it won't. The furthest we can get in, because like for instance, I didn't talk about these corners. Uh-oh, there we go. I didn't talk about those corners. So 85. There's 1. There's 2. Now I know the next threshold. So I think his threshold is something like 1% of his overall health. Now, because we've triggered that first wave, again, this is, so we now, so this is something that I know, but I can, explained in the previous video, we have in essence banked a stagger. I now know, regardless of the amount of damage or the range that this first hit does, it will be a stagger if it hits him in the head. And there you go. Doesn't matter what range, what damage that was, because we have triggered a wave of archers in a fashion that didn't stagger him, the next headshot is definitely going to stagger him. You can use that to bank a stagger, as I coined it in the video, which then means that you want to try and stagger Anakin. Oh, look at him, he's going for a little dancey. You want to try and stagger Anakin whilst he's in a hand of God, ideally. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 1200 damage. And that's triggered our next one. Sorry, I'll have a look at that in a minute. Let's get those through. So we've done about 30... let's get somewhere quiet. Leave Anakin down here. Come on, come on. For those of you who don't know what I'm doing, I coined this as Silver Lining, not because I want to be famous for discovering it or anything, but more so that it was fitting with what I was doing because I was aligning the outside and I thought it was catchy to have the silver lining like a silver cloud, not like a silver devil. But it also gives us something that we can, I know what we're talking about. If someone just says, oh, I'm lining, I wouldn't know what that would necessarily mean. So we've done about 1300 damage. Oh yeah, I was getting quiet so I can have a look. Oh, hello, Juniper. Unholy Wind. Sorry, Juniper, I didn't hear you come in then. Hey, mate. I don't, Unholy Wind never does any damage. Hello, Econ. God, fresh shot, no archer spawned. Yeah, no, yeah, that's... So this was based, hopefully you did that, Econ, based on what Beanie said, in that the first hit always triggers the first wave of monks, and it is not true. This game for me has never worked along those lines. It always works on percentages. Things proc because of percentages. Now, or I don't know, maybe that's just this coding or the Unreal Engine, or maybe just an easier way that developers can do it. Rather than them write a condition that is like, if Anakin is hit by anything, therefore, or if or when or however the fucking programming's done, trigger first wave of monks. It'll be something along the lines of, if Anakin's health drops below such and such, which will probably be 1% or even 0.5%, trigger first wave of monks. Hopefully, Econ, you did it for the same reason that I did, because it's true at earlier cycles, but it is definitely false at later ones. And I do like taking what the development team tell me and showing them that that's not the right way. I don't think they like me for it though. Remember my little easy cheesy video with headshotting bats by shielding them? Yeah, they got rid of that fast. They didn't like that one. But then I got that one out quickly and wanted to put that video out as fast as possible, and hopefully many of you got it. Yeah, thank you, Jim. I figured it would be. Do we really need to be dealing with waves of archers? I think I've proved. Anyone else want to see anything whilst I'm here? Anything else I need doing? I don't think there is. Oh, look, Tempest. Yeah, I would imagine that would be simpler, as you say. But yeah, I think... So, the one thing that I will say is, it does trigger... Oh, wait for Econ. They got rid of it. I mean, I don't think shall I? I don't need to show you that. Let's get back to cycle play, unless anybody wants to see anything specific. Okay, and get that pit done and make sure we get my health back. But yeah, you can basically hold the shield out, and you can headshot them by running like that section of the shield into enemies, however they took it away. Right, let's change profiles and get back on with... Oh, it's me neither, Nob, but some people do, which is why I tried to find a way to cheese it. If it had been... Yes. So in that circumstance, Weeble, what you could try is, I don't know what cycle this would work until, because it needs to be the first arrow and no others. But if you just wanted to trigger one wave of monks at a time, then that would be the way to do it. Yeah, nice one. Yeah, get it uploaded, dude. I always like to see others play. Right, let's get cracking lacking with 8, because we're not getting anywhere fast. I'm a true #1 ranking legend. But that's literally because of how much I play the game. That's all it is. I've just been playing longer than most. I'm playing as long as Beanie. And then because he's been doing development work with the devs, he hasn't had the time to keep up with me on legend points. Oh yeah, headshotting bats isn't headshotting bats, as K2 and some of you have also said. It isn't massively. Yes, I am first in legend points. There is a leaderboard. But all that literally means is I've been playing and competing than longer than anybody else. Well, and obviously placing. But yeah, you can do that too. Yeah, that's early cycles. What you should be practicing is head. Oh, I've got despair again because Beanie isn't here. I wanted agony. Why did I want agony? Because it's worth more points because there's black knights on it. There's also 2 summoners which both drop, and I could do with health right now, although we're not doing too bad. That isn't actually a health bar. That's a fake health bar, I guess. Again, I think that's put in the game so that you can turn off the heartbeat, as I've showed to do in one of my tips in 30 ticks videos. Yeah, the back headshot thing for me and for most people isn't difficult. However, there are people that would struggle with that, so I try and take them into account. More importantly, I thought because agony is awesome. That's right, K2. That's how you remember it. I'll think of a rhyme for the other 3 pits, but they just all mesh into one. It's easy for some, difficult for others. Sorry, I'm just listening to Sean. You might be putting less headshots on things, although they may have more health. You may not be hitting things as much or from as far away, potentially. Or maybe you missed an orphan or something along those lines, Sean. So on the back headshot side of things, the reason why I thought that was quite a quick one to try and bust out, not that I knew that shield bashing was going to result in headshots and count towards it, and not that headshots is particularly difficult. However, there are some people that would find it difficult, and I found it obnoxious that Super Bright made us do 266. It's just an unlock, and for most people it would be extra unlocks. For me, what it felt like, 266 headshots on a bat, it was almost like, oh yeah, do you want a decent arrow? 1,701 of one of the worst enemies to try and kill lots of, please. No thanks. I don't want to play those games. I don't want to have to do that much work for, I mean, the 1,701 ghosts, granted, it's a lot of work for potentially one of the best arrows in the game, so it does mean that you will definitely get it last. That's fair enough. However, that number of headshots on bats, they are a really tiny target as well. And I say, I just found it obnoxious. And when I find things obnoxious and time wasting for a player, I like to break them. And so I did. And Super Bright patched that out pretty quickly, so that probably wasn't part of their agenda. I can see what they were trying to do, because the more you have to do something, like bats, you can only kill in Desolation. Is every bat shot going to be a headshot? No, it's not, which means you're going to be killing more than 266 bats. What does it do? It helps them promote you as a player playing Desolation. They've put a lot of fucking hard work into Desolation. It looks beautiful. Especially after like the 2nd division, where they like added loads of extra bits and pieces. It is a gorgeous looking level, and it is well worth playing on its own merits. For me, and I would imagine for other players as well, if you want to go there, you will go there. And if you enjoy it, you will enjoy it. Having an achievement like that just felt like, please play our downloadable content. Yes, a lot of the quotas are absurd. As I said, the Hand of God one is absurd for a reason. Where's she? She's to the left as we come through this door. Or literally get up high, Juniper. Sorry, Ray, say... I skip these guys for now. Skip which guys? This... Are you talking about this orphan? It could be anything, sorry. Yeah, DS. Yeah, again, that was one that even with the cheese... Oh no, we've left that too late. Oh, that was risky. Why? Why did you get set off? That's the question, really. Let's get out of the way. Let's get you. Yes. I think she might be trapped there, you know? You say that. I don't like having that panic. I was going to go in there sooner. But then I thought, actually, I'll just answer that question. They seem, the one thing that I will say is, as a lot of others have noticed, they seem to be getting more and more twitchy. And by that, I mean shots that shouldn't trigger them. The shot here that I did is what triggered her, and she is not close enough. So it may just be a case of the fact that she's seeing... because it's variety. It's literally because... I mean, I don't know the answer, but I would have said it'd be variety. Get muscle memory for slow-mo. Was that... Hang on, I'll check in a minute. I missed some messages whilst I was chasing. I'll have a look in that. Smoko. Oh, right, let's move back a little bit. Take a knee and make the most of these headshots. Yeah, they do know that we don't pick them up. Like one of the arguments that I heard a while ago. I'm not going to rag on Wrath of God. Wildfire. And Tempest. Alright, hang on, let's deal with these and then I'll... There are a lot of things that I question Superbike's decision on. Oh, that's risky. Riskier! Oh. Right, let's just slow down a second here because we've taken an unnecessary hit again. Right, let's get this bit tidied up. And then... So this is where it's starting to get a little bit risky, because we can't actually take that many more shots before... Where's the other one? Before we need to start worrying. So, like, that's not good. 5 health down is not ideal. So, bear with me if I go a little quiet once I just finish this up. Why are you asking me these things, Sharon? Why are you asking me these things at high cycle? I mean, I could do. It's right there, I guess. The things I do for chat. So I can't remember what's outside. I'll give you an example. I'm not going to pick it up. If I had a Cat 5 and a Wrath and was able to pick both of them up, I would happily give you a live example. But having just taken a very unnecessary hit. No worries, Dan. Thank you for joining us. So, Wrath, the shot that you want to go for is that. No, it's no need to apologise, Sharon. The shot, because there's me thinking, oh, I have to pick it up now and show you exactly how to. No, I don't need to. In a room like this, if you had a lot of enemies around, the shot that you want to go for is that one that stays in the air, hangs, and. Yeah, no worries, Dan. See you later. Right, so how you use all your special arrows in the lava is. Yeah, good one, Dan. So, what can I say? I'm a sucker for requests. So you want to do these. That's the shot that you want to do with Wrath. In my opinion, very light, with as much hang time as possible. That isn't as good because it flies past. It flies past everything. And it flies past everything too quickly. The way that Wrath of God works is it actually pulses whilst it's in the air. No, that is quite right. Wrath is nowhere near as good with the crossbow as it is with the bow. Because, again, you can literally do that. What we like for battery, because I'd like to get Asmo done. 35%. Plenty. God, that's overly generous in comparison to how I've finished games before. So, yeah, these little weak shots and a very long and looping shot is what you want to do. Ideally, if you can do that. No, the reason being is the reason why it doesn't work when you shoot it into the floor is if you shoot an arrow into the floor, it disappears quite quickly. If it has some hang time and then hits the floor, if it has some hang time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that would have about 10 seconds of being in the level, whereas that 1, 2, gone already. Now, special arrows do stick around a little bit longer. I do have a battery pack. I do have a battery pack, but it is in the form of the Elite head strap. Oh, I was just going to have a quick smoke. Oh, a quick vape and a drink. What's I just have a quick look at the chat. Oh, nice one, Gina. But I thought that was Dan saying, can you use all your special arrows in the lava, and then was going to leave. That would have been funny, but yeah, nice one, Juniper. No, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, it's all about that curve, that trajectory, keeping as the long and short of it. Yeah, we'll have that now. The long and short of it is keeping the arrow near as many enemies as possible for as long as possible so that it can work its pulse. What else do we need? Probably top that up as well. Every 2 or 3 seconds, it pulses and kills does I think it's 300 damage to everything within a radius, and it will keep doing that as long as it is in the game. So the longer you can keep it in the game, the more damage it is capable of, is the long and short of it. If you have a look at the video for killing 10 bats at the same time, that one's a little bit more extreme. That's kind of like, because we were doing it for a purpose. That's that. No, you can't hit yourself with those arrows. Yes, I've tried. Actually, can you block them, though? No. Should be able to block them. Never tried. Nope. Can't block your own arrows. Rubbish! But yeah, and it does take some practice. Nice one, Econ. Thank you for joining us, my dude. It was a bit riskier than it needed to be. But I just want to get this level tidied up. I want to get Anakin done. And hopefully we'll get some life. There's a cheeky one that I didn't see. See if he'll move. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's on the channel somewhere. I can't remember exactly where, if I'm honest. Let me just sort these out a second. The 4-minute one that I did and I think that was in. Oh, this is getting risky. Out. Bye bye. I'm not playing that game. Again, melee enemies charging you down, plus archers in the back. Yeah, I could probably fight my way out of it. Is there a chance that I might lose some health? You're damn right there is. So let's just avoid that completely. There's another one closing in on us there. Let's just avoid that completely. I will deal with Incubi now because I've found that they have an annoying tendency to sometimes teleport to somewhere where they can't get out of. Steady. God, that would have been embarrassing if I got hit by that. They have an annoying tendency with me to sometimes teleport to areas that they can't get out of, and you lose them, and they're not in the shop, and I can't find them anywhere. It's really annoying. Right, that'll do. Well, oh, nice one. Yeah, it was. Yes, they do respawn. K2 is quite right in that regard because variety is the spice. Yes, it did. Fletcher's absolutely awesome. The way that I'm playing Fletcher has all of a sudden given a lot of the things that I know about this game reason to work as well. Yeah, no, Sigil is almost perfect in it has to be, it is perfect really, because it's given us all the things that we could possibly want. How many of those have teleported down? All of them? Let's find out. No, not all of them. That's risky. Let's sort that out over there. Finish you up. Go back over. Fletcher's a very difficult prospect, and Fletcher is the way it's one thing that I definitely want to stream to you guys, the way that I play it, because it's I don't know if it's fun to watch, but I have a lot of fun doing it. And as I said, it's literally assassinate orphan, kill boss, assassinate orphan in the pit, deal with the very minimum of the things in the pit, and then exit as soon as you have the option to. I usually lose 3 to 5 life per cycle, but it's how I've got top. Yeah, Fletcher's the random arrow where you lose HP each miss. But yeah, if we there's one of the things that there's a couple of things that Super Bright have done that have confused me. So they added additional damage for higher cycle. There was a time when you just used to take standard damage regardless of cycle. and armor was still a thing as well. So if you had the patience, can you imagine LG playing it when you didn't have double, triple, quad, 5, 6 damage, or Harry on the crossbow, or Camille, or even me if I didn't have all of that extra damage? When it was a thing, I was nowhere near the level that I am now. I was a lot worse. But they added that to the game where you take additional damage, which is fine. There was people that didn't like it. There was some people that really didn't like it. And it's like, well, you know, the whole point is people have been complaining that runs last too long. And it was the way to curb that problem. Come on, 2. Yeah, they'd still be going now. We've KT'd finished. Runs did go on forever. There was some ridiculous scoring over the entire course of a season. So, oh, right, okay. Hello, Zoo. Some arrows I've noticed as well, and it usually means just slowing your rate of fire. Incursion on Gabe and Chaos, Curse on this seems to be the problem. But yeah, so one of the things that they did is they increased the damage that you take per cycle, which I am more than happy with. I thought it was a good direction for the game to move in. There's some people that didn't. We're going to take this one nice and gentle. I do not want to lose any more silly hits. And the devs then, after they'd done what I thought was a really good move, they then made it so that a piece of armor then meant that you could take all of that damage in the one hit with the achievement that you can get with armor, where it takes all the damage from a single hit, regardless of cycle. Plus, like, well, if you're trying to if you're trying to shorten the length of the game, then by doing that, and if people are good and can keep hold of their holy armors, then surely you're just lengthening it again, which was a bit of a strange one. But again, you know, I think that might have been Superbright went a little bit too ham on the decision and got a lot more pushback than they thought they were going to, and so changed it, which, well, ultimately that's their prerogative. Let's get around here. Let's not get hit by these cupids. Let's put one of those down there. Get him. Yeah, go on then, Camille. What cycle are you at on Fletcher? How far cycle-wise can you get at the moment? What's been your best? Because I know if I play it normally, with the way that I like to play, I'll make it to maybe cycle 3. Or is that top secret information that you couldn't possibly share because you're not the sharing, caring kind, like me? Woo! Fireball. Uh-oh. Low battery. Oh, nice. Oh, so you're playing it properly then. Right, we're going to try and... Now, we shouldn't have to worry about lava at this stage. But lava can definitely become a real nightmare at a later stage. But I'm starving at the moment. No, that's some really good going. Well done. Whew. Revenge of the low battery forever. Return of the revenge of the low battery. Did you not see how much I was able to do on 5% battery? It's a theme. Oh, so I better not slow Asmo down then. Otherwise he'll throw out even more. Otherwise he'll throw out even more. Let's have a nice moving in slow motion, Anakin. 13% will be fine. Be fine. Keep you on the edge of your seats. Oh, someone asked me about can't get that. Someone asked me about battery packs. Look, if I'm not shaking, Sean, you shouldn't be. No. Why would I do that? Where's the drama in that? So note how I am hitting him with Hands of Gods at key stages. Buys me time. This is something that you want to have a look at for when you are starting to play higher cycle, because all that time being bought just allows you. Deal with that guy nice and quick. He's not going to allow it. Uh-oh. Yeah, sinking in lava. Ooh, that was nasty. I don't even know what that hit was from, if I'm honest. That's bad. Let's get this guy tightened up with those extra headshot goodness. Let's pop the slow-mo behind us so we don't take any more hits. And then let's go and have a look at Asmo and plant one of those there. And another one for good measure. Oh, this is risky, people. That's more risky than low battery. I have no idea what that hit was from. I think I got tagged by an ab-bomb, but it's going to be fine because Asmo's going to go blood, blood, holy armor, or holy armor, holy armor, holy armor. Oh, look at that! How generous is this guy? Come on, 2. I'm not going desolation. Oh yeah, quiver. Should take it. Well, this run's starting to go to shit quite quickly, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, someone was asking me about battery packs earlier. I have the Elite battery strap. Yeah, I don't know. I was in a slow time bubble. I didn't think that was a thing. So one of the things that I would do now, and we've got time, and I will try and remember. I'm playing against the grain here. One of the things that I would do in this situation is something silly like this. Now, you remember what I said about my example? I'll just have to, I'll write it down somewhere that I need to go and visit the pit. I need to go back. Bye, guys. Well, that's what you want to see, isn't it? A couple of Blood of the Lambs. So what I've done there is I've completely skipped the first section. 8% will be fine. Completely skipped the first section to find out what is in the shop. This is all part of survivability. I haven't done myself proud in those last bits of level. So skipping straight here to find out where we're at is a very good shout. There's 2 back. Come on, stream luck, stream luck, stream luck, stream luck, stream luck. Damn. Okay, so now we're not looking too bad. We can take 3 hits, plus we've got our grace. Well, 3 hits and our grace. Or is it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2? That was probably a bad move. I should have left those, but I'm not planning on relying on my grace. No way. So yeah, the question was asked about... I want to go and deal with those guys outside before I turn it off. Oh no! Why's that happened? Because that's the last arrow that I had against old Asmo. Right, okay, so that's very low battery warning. Quick scan of the horizon. See if there's any Blood of the Lambs. Possibly not. There might be one on top of there. I think there'll be one along the level somewhere. So, right. Let's, before anybody starts having heart attacks, let's end it there. There we go. And we're spent. So yeah, on the question of battery packs, it'd be great advertisement, wouldn't it, if my battery dies now as I'm talking about battery packs, almost like it's planned. I have the elite strap. I had the elite strap, and then I won an elite strap with battery pack in one of the competitions that we did for In Death, and I'd already bought one, so I've got one, and I've got a spare because I know that these can be a little bit temperamental on the side straps. I think the one that I've got might be part of a bad batch, but I've never had any problems. The one that I've got in the box, waiting in the wings if I needed it, is definitely a good batch one, so that one shouldn't break. And I know that the elite straps do break because I've had one break whilst it was literally sat in a box or sat in a case doing nothing. So yeah, I will get round to an updated snow globin at some point in the near future, but I've got a lot that I want to do on the streaming point for a little while longer. So anyway, right. Thank you all very much for joining me. You have all been fantastic once again. Thank you, everybody. Good night.